It's the Jack
and Kathy
Show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah,
Okay, I think if yeah.
Okay.
It's more about you. Do you want to talk? We can look. Hey, it's our fucking show. We can Joe Rogan this shit.
We can.
Do you want to talk about relationships too?
Well, yeah, wherever you guys want to take it.
Oh,
I'm fine with
let's
it.
go.
I got
So
nothing
here's
but
a good-
time.
Are you doing on? You're okay on time?
Going?
I got plenty of time.
Oh,
I got
plenty of
nothing
time.
going
Oh,
Okay.
on.
all right. Well, go.
So here's one of the things that we've enjoyed asking. We've had some single friends on, and we've asked for what characteristics they're looking for in a partner.
I love this.
You guys are
So-
definitely sitting on some questions for sure.
Well, they kind of come into my head as
I gotcha.
We just let things flow, man.
I mean,
For sure.
I'm still getting to know you, so I'm kind of looking for openings where it's safe to dive in, know?
Yeah.
And taking my cues from both of you because you two know each other pretty well. But yeah, that was one interesting question that we've asked a few of our friends that have been on is what characteristics are you looking for in a partner?
Interesting question.
Right?
We've got some
They
really
can
cool.
be- they can be physical,
I'm totally
they
gonna
can
jam you right
be
now. You're gonna.
Practical. They can be.
If you were listening to all of our podcasts, we always ask this. So glad.
We
I'm
often
actually.
ask it.
Well, yeah. I'm glad you
Yeah.
haven't listened to it now. Believe
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're just going to take it one day at a time. I'm just here to
That's a baseball line, by the way.
I on the drive over here, I'm like, one of the questions I have to answer like it's Bull Durham.
No, exactly what he just did.
What's something I'm looking for? I
Like,
wouldn't.
yeah, go ahead.
I
Like
wouldn't
list out
say,
top 5 qualities in somebody.
I wouldn't say I'm like looking.
No, but top
That's
5
okay.
qualities
We're not
in
saying,
someone
like,
you would date.
in
Top
your-
5 qualities.
Top 5 qualities. I think an important one is just attraction. I think that has to be there.
And that's a physical attraction?
Yes.
Like, okay.
I think that's just important, especially at my age. Maybe it's a
Sure.
young, immature thing, but
Yep. At 22,
I think
that makes sense.
at 22 that's a baseline.
Yep. I'd say that makes sense. Yeah.
I think similar music taste is important to me.
Yeah.
Or at least a similar appreciation for music.
Yeah.
I think a big one for me is like having something that person is really passionate about or driven towards.
Interesting. So where they have a drive and a focus, like you find that to be an admirable quality.
At least some dreams that they are really committed to in one way or another. Yeah, just because I feel like it's important for everyone to have something that they're passionate about, and I find it to be boring talking to people in general who just don't really have dreams or goals or stuff they're working towards. So that's important.
I think that makes a lot of sense. If I can just add, what it makes me think of is if somebody doesn't have their own goals and passions for themselves in their life, they're always going to look to you to make life interesting or to make life challenging or to have an adventure or to inspire a conversation.
Yeah, and I think another important thing about where I'm at right now is I'm very busy, and I can't you just kind of need to be speaking to someone who understands what it's like to be very busy, and if you don't have anything that you're doing or working towards, and it doesn't have to be like big life dreams, just something that you care about and something that you work at. I think whether that be relationships or just friends, I think that's an important one for me.
Yep.
Those are big ones. I'd say I don't know. I don't typically like overly conservative people, and I don't like overly liberal people.
Okay.
I think for me it's just like I don't want to spend time with people who make it their personality to have what political views they have. And then a new baseline that I came up with about 3 years ago is where someone stands in terms of LGBTQ and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I used to I used to wait. This goes for friends and relationships too. But I used to like wait to tell people, like I wait to get to know a person before I like let them know like, hey, I have a transgender sister.
Yep.
And react to how they felt. Now it's a way for me to gauge like, is this person even worth me wasting my breath with?
Yes.
Because if they're not accepting of stuff like that, that's not a person I even want to.
It's the first thing I said to Kathy.
That's
be near,
fair.
let alone spend any time with.
It truly is one of the first things I said to Kathy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're exactly right. I am not going to pursue. We could have 99.9% things in common, and I'm not going to pursue a relationship if that's not linked up. So I think that's smart of you to not wait.
Yeah.
Because I think, if I heard you correctly, you used to wait to see things and read them and stuff like that. Put it out there.
Yeah.
And it's smart.
And that's why, I mean, even looking at my better friends in the world, like people I'm friends with are accepting, people I'm really good friends with are accepting, and especially when I'm around, if it ever gets brought up, something like that, they are always speaking out.
Yeah.
In support of you.
Quick to shut that down.
On my behalf, in support of me, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Like, I can say their names because neither of them are going to listen to this podcast.
Just first names. First names only.
I'm sending it to them, just first names.
One of the coolest things that happened when, like, I was hanging out with Andy at his place with his roommate and a couple of other guys. I don't typically like to talk about stuff like that anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's, what's the point of talking about it is what I say. It's just like, why don't, like, let's just let people be them. And it's like, none of us are like that. So why does it matter?
Yep.
But the topic got brought up, and super hardcore conservative Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Super hardcore.
Yeah.
And so he was like saying some derogatory stuff. And at this point, I'm just like, we were about to leave anyway. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. And like, I'd never heard him really speak this way, but like he like immediately like hopped in. And he's like, well, let's like pump the brakes here. Like, let's actually calm down because I don't necessarily agree with what's being said here and stuff like that.
Wow.
He was kind of backing it up, and I kind of like just thanked him after. I was like, I appreciate what you did there.
Yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, that's a very important one for me too.
Agreed. And I also grew up, my family is fantastic, but it was conservative Christian also. I remember thinking that the whole world was Christian, or Catholic even, because I didn't realize that there were other things. No, nothing against how I was raised. But when I got to my working years at 17, started working in a very artistic, free spirit, freelance world, that really shaped my psyche and what I was exposed to. And so, we did talk about that early.
What do you mean? You and I?
Yeah. Just
right away.
just that is not
Right away.
Yeah.
I think it was
the acceptance of whatever anyone wants to be, but especially the LGBTQ.
Well, I've always had this. I don't know why we spend so much fucking attention to who someone likes.
Yeah.
Like I don't
or what they want to look like.
fucking understand it.
Right.
I don't get it. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. And how they. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you really look back in history, when Irish people came into Italian neighborhoods, I mean, it's always been there, right? It's just, to me, it's gotten worse. And I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with this discussion. By the way, you know what the phrase rabbit hole is from?
Rabbits dig holes.
Nope.
That it's a hole
from a
that
book.
doesn't
Is it-
end.
It's from a
That it
book.
just keeps
It's
tunneling
from a
and
book.
tunneling and tunneling. The rabbit hole, the never-ending hole.
Yep, it's from a
Yeah.
book. Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
The rabbit keeps digging holes that never go anywhere. That's what it's from.
Yeah.
Going down a rabbit hole. Yep.
Well, that's cool.
So anyway, that's
Circling
awesome.
back.
So can you tell Sam what Bela Gandhi's all about then? Because he actually answered it near perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, it's
Can I talk about
and it's not.
Wait.
Of course, you answered it perfectly. Not near perfect. He answered it exactly.
Well, sort of.
He
The
was-
first one was what every man says.
Well, yeah, but
Perfect
he's
in
also a
terms of-
22-year-old
So there's this
young
woman,
man.
Bela
So-
Gandhi, that we follow also, and she's actually from Chicago, and she's been on every national newscast. And she is a matchmaker. Now, it costs anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for her to find you a partner. It's usually designed for people that are older.
Right.
So, widows, widowers, divorcees, that kind of stuff. And she has 100% effectiveness in finding people their second mate. But what she asks people to do, it's really interesting. She asks people on one sheet of paper at the beginning of the interview to write down all the attributes you're looking for in a man or a woman in a heterosexual relationship.
In a
for example.
partnership.
In a partner.
Whatever that
Okay?
is.
So, and let's just stay with heterosexual, it's easier. So men tend to say, you got to be physically attractive. There's some other things that are very stereotypical men.
I only like blondes. I like them
Right.
to be like 5'5"
Want to have kids,
to 5'7".
right? Not make more money than me. And these are all the men's attributes.
Yeah.
And then the women say has to be tall. The number one thing for women is tall, more than 6 feet. So they have to be tall. Second
Tall,
attribute
dark,
has to make a
handsome.
lot of money. Third has to have hair, right?
Yeah.
These are the top three when you ask about the attributes. So she's done all these studies. Okay. Then she proceeds to interview them more, learn about them. And then the next time they get together, she goes, hey, real quick, I need you to write a list of the things you like. Tell me who your best friend is. Tell me who your best sibling is. Right? Your favorite relative. And tell me what
Yeah.
you like about them.
And what are the
What are the character?
Yeah.
What is it about Key that you like? Or what is it about Andy that you like? And you know what
honest,
it isn't?
They're kind.
Honest,
they're,
kind, strong sense of values, but it's never,
I can
oh,
count
I like
on them.
her.
Great sense of humor. They're
Right, I like
funny.
Alex because she has blonde hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then she says to them, when we're going to start looking for people, these are the attributes, the first one I mentioned, we're not going to look at. Not that you can't be attracted to somebody or all those other kinds of things.
Yeah.
But you have to have the core things that you find in your best friends. That's why I was really impressed, because though you said the stereotypical, I gotta be attractive, which we get, all of your other attributes, right, were about the quality of the person. And that's interesting because it doesn't usually happen until you get older.
I think so. So I think you are a very
Way ahead
self-aware
of the game.
person, and you're very well spoken. And even when you said there has to be physical attraction, you didn't say she has to be
hot,
5'10",
blonde.
size 2, blonde, blue eye. You know, maybe that is what's in your head. But
I'm looking over your
say
shoulder
that.
to see his face. I want to be
So, anyway. All right, that's cool.
5'10" might be a little tall for me, but I can handle it.
Yeah.
No, that was awesome.
Yep. Yep.
What other relationship things did you want to talk about?
I don't know.
All right, we'll keep going. You ask questions.
Yeah,
You're good
go.
at this.
Fire
Well,
away.
on that,
You're
on
good
that
at the
topic,
deep end of the pool stuff.
On that topic, so let me share what I saw in your dad when I saw him on the dating app. So
Why? Ask him questions.
no, I
I'm
think
curious
it's I
now.
think
I'm
it's
drawn
cool
in.
now that he gets to hear like just what I
Do
see in
you
you.
really know our whole story?
Not really. I've never really spoken to you about
Us?
relationships at all, really.
Really?
Mine or yours. We really haven't
You
ever.
talked about someone at school for a while.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was about it, and that was like the first time ever.
Okay. All right. Good.
So, these dating apps are really bizarre, and I'm sure maybe even some of your friends are on them too, but you put pictures on and then you maybe answer questions to show a little about your personality. You figure out.
Which app was it?
First it was Hinge that I was on, and then the second one was Bumble. And
Okay.
your dad was on both. We've met on both.
Yeah.
So
Did you know we met on both first?
No, I didn't know you met on both. I'm
Oh.
everyone
Just
has
tell
those
that
apps.
story.
So we were on this dating app Hinge, and he liked one of my pictures, and then we started communicating in the app, and then long story short, took it to exchanging phone numbers and communicating via text, but never talked.
Right.
And then you, what was it? You moved out.
We were talking
Colorado.
right before I sold the house and moved to Arizona.
Right before he sold Curtis, we were talking, and then he decided to move, sell everything and move. And he bowed out of communication in a very respectful way. He just said, you seem really nice, but I'm actually moving now, so bye-bye. And
No, I didn't say bye-bye. That doesn't sound nice. I said I don't think a
Smell
long
ya.
distance thing's gonna work. I'm going out to Arizona, and
it didn't affect me because I was just
Well,
like,
I know, but I
swipe.
didn't. Stop! I didn't say
Whatever,
bye-bye.
swipe.
I was very nice to you.
You were very nice. You were very respectful. Absolutely. So then fast forward to the following July. So 10, 11 months later, I'm on this Bumble app and your dad's profile comes up again. And I text him and I say, oh, I remember you.
Shirt off, flexing the six.
And
I bet.
not quite.
When
And
was
you
that
didn't.
picture
If you would have
taken?
had a picture like
Did you hear what he
that.
said? When was the picture taken? 1980.
Perfect.
That was
perfect.
great.
But no,
fucking
actually, if you
awesome.
would have had a shirt off flexing picture, I would have been like, swipe. That
not
doesn't
me.
interest me. And not to say I don't want somebody that cares about themselves physically, but I don't like seeing an ego in that way.
He doesn't want to relive the episode he listened to.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. But
Move it past.
yes, so and he had no recollection of ever communicating with me before.
She reaches out and she said, I remember you or something
I said,
like
I remember you. And he said, good or bad?
that. Swear to God.
And I was
Straight
like,
up.
dang.
Good or bad.
This man doesn't remember this face at all.
How many faces have been around?
Ah, right?
Did not
Exactly.
remember. I truly did not remember.
From
and
all
I was
reports now, the one brunette you ever dated
Yeah.
was me.
No, I
But,
dated one before that, but
Yeah.
mostly blonde hair.
okay.
But I will say I truly did not remember you. Like did not. And then
Yeah.
she texts me and text
What-
threads will come up from people that you might have texted
Yeah,
before.
so we
right?
exchanged phone numbers because I decided I could either be offended or entertained by that. And I thought, well, that's kind of funny.
So you've never heard this before.
That's
No.
kind of funny as no recollection. I actually find that kind of nice that, you didn't, I don't know. I just found it refreshing for some reason. And
But you could have taken it the other way,
I could
which
have been
was
offended.
like, fuck you. I
could have
can't
been
believe
like,
you
I
don't
can't
remember
believe,
me.
but we never even talked on the phone. So how,
Yeah.
what would that say about me if I got offended? Like we didn't even talk. But
She sent me a text, and then in there popped up the old string, and I went, oh, okay, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
But his
So-
pictures were of him standing on a mountain after hiking in Arizona. I'm like, okay, he likes to stay busy and move active, and I like hiking, so check. And then you had a picture with you and Alex and Ellie. I'm like, okay, he's a dad and he likes animals, check. And then your other pictures, one with
Guitar.
I think one at a baseball game. I think you were in it, Sam. Mm-hmm. He's playing with his mic and everything.
No, I'm just looking at it.
Anyway, so it was.
I had pictures of the kids, and I had me playing guitar and hiking.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then some of the questions you answered made me chuckle. So I
Are,
thought,
are you on any of those apps at all?
I'm not. I have friends who are, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not on any of them? Never.
I have
Did
been
you?
before at times.
Okay, so
but
you
I
know
don't-
what-
I mean,
I don't
obviously
get
you know
use
how they
I don't
work.
get much use out of them.
Yeah, but you know how they work, right?
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, he's a college athlete
He doesn't need to do anything. It
and
just shows up.
a
And he plays
musician.
music. I
So he
know.
just walks through the room, and girls are like, "Who
I hate when
did?"
people say that.
Yeah, I think so.
I hate when people say stuff like that.
Well,
Is it semi-true though?
Not really.
Okay.
as far
It's-
as you know.
The music stuff, believe it or not, I think will have a bigger impact.
It helps.
No doubt.
It helps.
Well, it's hard not to have an advantage when you're standing on a stage in front of everyone.
Of
It makes
course.
it easier.
Yeah.
It makes you more noticeable.
Yep.
Dude, we played a gig.
But it's not like it's just
I feel I have to tell you this. We played
I
a
play
gig.
baseball and music, and then it's just like that's not how it works. And
We had a-
everyone likes to joke like that too.
Well, interesting you say that. So I will take that back. I didn't mean to like diminish.
No,
that,
it's fine. It's just
but
everyone always
because
jokes like
people,
that.
Because my history of being a model, people do make presumptions about what that's like, right? In
Right.
fact, I talked about it on one of the podcasts
with
with
Aaron, who's a model.
who's also a model. And
And there's a perception that you guys are just banging dudes. I don't mean banging,
no,
but bagging
handsome,
dudes.
wealthy dudes.
That's all you're getting
Yeah,
is
that's all we're getting.
Handsome,
But-
wealthy dudes. Because
So I get it.
Clearly,
neither or. Neither nor.
Yeah.
Whoops a daisy. So finish the story.
yeah.
Yeah, the story was that we reconnected on app number 2, and he had no recollection of who I was, but there was something about your dad I really liked. And we did talk on the phone then once. And then I proceeded to make all the arrangements for the first date. The what day, where,
I knew
when,
that. Yeah.
everything. And he was like, okay.
I had known
I was
that
in the
like
studio
you
and I
were,
got time to kill, so okay.
Oh no, she was the pursuer.
Yeah, I knew that you were the one.
Yes.
I was making it happen at first.
And I'm not sure why that was exactly, but just something instinctually, I was like, oh, I kind of like, I think this guy, yeah.
There's probably a change for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so I had felt after the relationship I was in that you knew about that I was running into similar patterns because we all do that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And the only way, what are you? You're so funny.
Left camera, right camera.
So if you don't want to hear all the detail, let me know.
I'm
But
listening.
I knew that in order for me to have something different, because I acquiesced a lot in a lot of other relationships, because they were checking so many boxes, is what we talk about often. They were checking so many boxes. I went, all right, they'll figure out the other cool things.
Right.
Right. And so
Or the other cool things, sorry to interrupt, or the other cool things are just fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I know they don't like this.
We've got 10 out of the 20 things I
Right.
need.
Like Kathy
so
dated
that's
someone for a while that
fine.
never wanted to meet her kids. Right? And
Yeah.
excused that. So we both made excuses in relationships.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a takeaway here, don't make excuses for yourself for anything else. If it
If
doesn't,
you find
as
yourself
great as
making
it is,
excuses for that person,
yeah, differences are okay
Check in.
and that kind of stuff. That's fine. But man, you can't let your core go. And so I had come home because you were now going to go to Iowa because I thought you were going to go to Arizona. Remember you were talking to possibly playing
You
out
were
there.
just really hoping I'd go to Arizona.
Well,
I told you that.
I was hoping you would go out
Arizona
west
called
'cause I
me
wanted to be out
once.
there.
Yeah, I told you
Yeah.
that Arizona called me once, and then I might have a call from Grand Canyon, and that's all it ever
Well,
was.
and that's all I needed to hear was cool. I can just mountain bike and then watch him play baseball.
Or was
So-
it at the time when I was going to junior college when I was committed to the school in Arizona?
No. It was
This is way after. This is when I was at Heartland.
You were at Heartland,
Okay.
and you were telling me that you were looking west, and so I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
this could fucking work then."
Well, I did go west.
Well, no, true.
Very
And
little.
so when you moved back, I went, "Well, I'm not going to be in Colorado if he's at Iowa. That's just stupid." And that was the big reason for coming back. So then when I started dating again, I went, all right, if you want to make anything work with anybody, the only common denominator in all your relationships is you. And so if you want things to be different, you got to change. You can't
Sure.
you can't expect to find differences in people. You have to change the way you do things and look. And so went on a couple of dates. Sam, I had one date where I walked in within 10 minutes, and it wasn't a physical attraction thing. She's really attractive. She said a couple of stupid things.
I think you told me about that once.
And I just
yeah.
went, I got to go. And I walked out within 10, 15 minutes. She's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no. Sent her a nice note afterwards saying, not a good fit. Wasn't going to try to make it. So the day that Kathy and I met, which I think was a Thursday,
yeah, it was.
I was at the studio working on stuff. And I didn't want to sit in traffic. So I figured, fuck it. She wants to get together. She works in the city. The worst thing that happens is I have drinks with somebody.
Yeah.
But at least I'm not stuck in traffic. So I could meet her at 5:30, and then by 6:30 hit the road. Traffic will have died down by then.
Right.
It's truly to waste time. So, right?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
So she walks in like I couldn't give a shit, and I'm going to be myself. And at one point, within 10 minutes of talking, normally I would filter myself. I'd try to say certain things, and I went fuck it. So I said something perhaps crass, office-like.
Sure.
Where I then said to Kathy, if any of my family or friends were here right now, they'd go, what are you doing?
And she's probably there like,
The whole time laughing.
yeah, of course.
So that was our first date. That's how we
I do
met.
find your dad very funny.
I know.
We do
And
talk
I
about
know
you often on
find
the
him-
podcast.
I know you find
Yeah.
him far less funny.
We
but-
talk about
I see you as an enabler.
That's true. It's true. He says that to me all
I
the
call
time.
it all the
He's
time. I'm like every
yeah.
time she laughs, I'm like, I'm so glad Sam isn't here right now because he'd kill you. So that's our story. Did you know some of it or most of it?
I just all I remember of the story was that Kathy was the one who initiated things at first.
Well, the funnier part about it is, so that's a Thursday. And I had actually gone out on a date Wednesday night right before I met Kathy. And so she's now calling me. She was really nice and everything, but something was very easy with Kathy. That's the one thing I will tell you is
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we talked
We talked for
nonstop
6.5 hours the first day.
hours.
just
on the
talk.
first
It was
day.
very easy.
I think we ate 2 meals.
Yeah, but Sam, I can't give this advice more than anything. Is I was absolutely myself. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh man, if my mom heard me say this, if Sam heard me say, oh fuck, Alex would kill me. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. And then the next day, this woman's calling me up going, you didn't give me a call back on Thursday. I don't feel like getting blown off and you should be this, that, and the other. And so then I was mostly very good at saying, hey, I wouldn't ghost, mostly. Unless I thought they were freaky. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to talk to them. So I said to her, I just don't know it's going to fit. I really appreciate it. But I'm not sure right now. And I didn't want to say there's somebody else because I didn't fucking know. And so Auntie Laura calls me Friday morning. She goes, can you come up to the lake house and fix some shit? Because it's July 9th.
Yeah.
So she goes, can you come up here and fix some stuff? Just me and Lynn. And what are you doing? And I just got my paddleboard. So I think, fuck it, I'll go paddleboard, hang out with my sister. And so Kathy calls me on the drive out. We talk for maybe 30 minutes, text a little bit. And then the next Saturday, you want to tell the story now?
No, go ahead.
The next Saturday, she's like, so where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm still at my sister's. She goes, it's only an hour away. I can come by. No, I said something like, she says about it's only an hour away. And I'm like, did you want to come over? But I wasn't asking, hey, do you want to come over?
It was
more like,
did you?
Are you inviting yourself over?
over?
Like, that's how I'm asking it in my head, right? She goes like this, okay.
Sure.
Right, just like that. And then I had this moment of dread. Dude, I want you to appreciate this. I had this moment of dread.
Oh, shit.
Because now I'm like, fuck, I just invited her over. And I don't want to go.
You better check with your sister.
So she goes, I can be there in an hour. And I went, oh. And she goes, yeah, it's only an hour.
No, it wasn't that quick because I did stop at the store and
you said you could be there by 2 hours. So I told Laura everything, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't told Laura I've been dating at all. I haven't told her I've been going on dates because I figured that's what I do. I tell people things. So now I'm not going to not keep things from you kids because you asked me not to do that. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to dive into stuff. So if I have a great date, I'm not going to go, hey, nice date, whatever. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to get caught up with so again, I'm the common denominator.
Yep.
If there's a takeaway, think about that all the time when you do stuff.
Okay.
I'm the common denominator. So I go up to Laura. I went, hey, so I'm verbatim. So I'm dating somebody. And she goes, you're dating somebody. When were you going to tell me? I'm like, well, she's coming here. You invited someone you're dating. First of all, you didn't fucking tell me. And then she's coming here. You have a 14-year-old niece. Like, is she normal? Okay. How long have you been dating her? I went, well,
A couple of days.
I met her on Thursday.
What time is it?
And she goes, are you fucking out of your mind? You're bringing some fucking stranger. And she goes, you can see Laura doing this, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Going off. And I went, I can tell her to turn around. She goes, no, what the fuck are you thinking? And then next thing you know, Kathy's there in 2 hours with a plant and a bottle of wine. Hey, I'm here.
Hi.
So that's our story.
Yeah.
And then truly, we haven't been apart for that long. Since that day.
Yeah.
So that's our story. You never knew all this stuff.
No, not the full extent. I just know Kathy was the one who started initiating things.
She was the one that, so I had scheduled to see Key and Al, and then said, do you mind if Kathy comes out? Because that was when, you remember when the high heat wave was out there and the smoke
in Portland?
and all that?
Yeah.
So we were all going to get hotel rooms, and they said, well, now they had met Kathy you met her before anybody. Mm-hmm. So you must have met her in August, within a month of dating.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But Al and Key had only met via FaceTime. So it was just really funny when we got out there, because now we got to get a house together because the air conditioning doesn't work in Oregon, and all the hotels are booked.
Yeah.
So we ended up renting this house, and I'm like, oh, fuck. The 5 of us have to be together, and it's the first time they're meeting her. It's going to be so fucking awkward.
I think it went really well, though.
It was one of the best days ever with them. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our story. So
Yeah.
now let's talk about you.
Word.
Ask him questions about dating.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Don't you have any? She's been...
I don't
you
know.
have any?
Mine are always. I just know you seem to really like someone a year ago. Seems like maybe it's shorter than that. I can't even remember her name now. Right?
I'm forgetting who.
You're forgetting who?
No.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
You liked someone a lot a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about your dating life then. What do you want? What do you want to share with me that you think would be worth knowing?
I don't really
You don't
think
have, like,
there
a
is
kid
What does
anymore, do
dating
you?
look
No.
like at 22?
What does dating look like
Is
at
it really
22?
dating, or it's just like, hey,
It's-
I'm going
it's
to
a
the
little bit of a
party on
shit show.
Friday.
It's a shit show?
It's a total shit show.
I mean, are you taking girls like out to dinner, or you just
well,
hook it up
it's-
at a party?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's weird. I talk about this with a couple friends all the time. Like, I'm really bad at texting people. I'm really bad at communicating via phone.
Okay.
Like if I
Are
meet
you
someone
really?
terrible at it. Like if I meet someone
How come
that I
you're
want
so
to,
good with me though?
what do you mean?
I think you're great with texting.
I don't know how to like text someone to like just start a conversation over text. I hate like that.
Interesting.
So
I
is
hate
that
having,
how you
sounds
guys
like
do
sounds like
things?
lyrics to a song developing right now.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that how you do things?
Well, it's like you get their number, you get their Snapchat, and then you snap and like converse for a while, and then like maybe hang out. I hate that, and I've talked to all my friends about this. Like, I'd rather just like meet someone.
Oh,
Well, because I don't know what to say over. I don't know how to be myself through my phone. Like, I'd much rather meet someone. Like, if I meet a girl at the bar and I get her number, I'd rather just like
what are you doing tomorrow?
text her, be like, "Hey, let's hang out," or
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, I'm gonna be over at such and such. Want to go chill?
Right, but that doesn't really happen much.
Is
Yeah.
that because are you Gen X or millennial?
X.
So that's your ways.
It's sort of like that. It's difficult. I mean, in college especially at the University of Iowa.
See, you know what's funny? I would think it's fucking the other way around. Like, it's easy to just get together on campus and
Yeah, but like there's just so many options and so many people that a lot of people aren't really wanting to have a relationship, or a lot of people are
so it's much more.
like every
Flames.
every girl I know is like, or most girls I
playing
know
a
are
shit ton
talking
of
to are talking to multiple guys, and most
Yeah.
guys are talking to multiple people.
So do you
Right,
trust anybody
right.
then at this age?
You try to. Yeah, it's hard.
Is that a place where you want to hang out?
What do you mean?
Player.
I don't know. I wouldn't really consider anything I do like playerish, but I wouldn't say like I'm like interested in like committed, devoted relationships. I think more this year than anything, I've been more geared towards just enjoying what's going on and kind of like hanging out. But my big thing is like I just won't lie.
Yeah.
So like if someone asks me like, "Hey, are you talking to anyone else?" and the answer is yes, I'll just be like, "Yes." Or
Yep.
if I'm not, then I'll say no. Or if I'm not, but that's not because I'm committed to them, I'll be like, "No, but I like don't know if I would keep myself from talking to someone."
Right.
Do you feel that you want a monogamous relationship right now, or is it one of those I don't know yet until it happens?
I don't know. It would have to be something. I don't know. I feel like I'd know once I met someone who I'm like, oh, for sure.
Yeah. When you find yourself anxious to see them again, or
Yeah, not even that. More of just like I don't know. Like I want it to like I have trouble because every time I've ever like been going towards a relationship, I always hit around a 4-week mark where I start to lose interest. And
Really?
yeah, my friends give me shit for it all the time. Because like it'll just be like, great girl, like nothing wrong with her, and I'll just be like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it anymore, or
Yeah.
something like that, or
Yeah.
like it'll get to the point where like she'll start to ask like, where's this going, or what's going on here, and I'll always just kind of be like, I just can't see myself just being like committed to you. The only person that like I ever actually made it past that and made it like 3 months with was who you met at my show that one
Yeah.
night.
Oh yeah.
But even with her, I struggled to like longevity, think about long term, like committing.
yeah.
Do you have friends that have long? I know Snap has. long-
Yeah, Snap lives with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, do you have friends that are on the other side of where you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alec for sure. Alec has been dating his girlfriend since freshman year of high school.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys who are really committed in relationships. But then a lot of my friends are single too. Like Will's single, Andy's single.
Is that where you see yourself, at least right now, headed? Like staying in that kind of nebulous place for the time being?
I don't know. I feel like I have to grow up at some point. Because I like it's easy to like just not really want anything in college because you just meet so many people. There's so many people
Yeah.
around you. But I don't know. Like ideally I'd want someone to be committed with and like have a relationship with, but it would have to be like I'm really picky
until the 4th week comes around. Then it's
that's what my friends always joke with me about. They're just like, what is it? And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's a cop out answer to say like I'm really picky, but like, and I feel like another thing that I have the habit of doing is only going after girls that go after me first. I don't often like go out of my way to try to reach out to people.
Yeah. Is that a safety mechanism, do you think?
It could be.
So that you don't get rejected?
It could be a defense mechanism for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I've just found that like it's more enjoyable when you don't have to worry about like I'm putting myself out here like, oh, does she like me? Is this like all that stuff? I've found in the past it's just like most of the time anyone I'm talking to for like 90% of the time is someone approaching me first. And
well, there was someone you approached. I can't remember her fucking name now.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about, and that could be relating to why I am certain ways in relationships. Well, because that was the first girl I ever like reached out to and actually really liked.
Do you feel you don't want to do that because of what happened? Like, do you feel that you got burned, so not do
like
that
you
again?
Said, protection, defense mechanism.
That's part of it, but I don't think that's like the main driving factor. I think another part of it is just like there's just an added layer of like anxiety and discomfort, I guess, that comes with it. Because the way I see it is like when someone reaches out to me first, it's like then I feel comfortable just being exactly who I am, because being who I am without like knowing that they were paying any attention to me was what attracted them to me at first. So I don't have to do anything differently. I just have to, be myself.
Yeah.
So that's something I do a lot, and I think that might have an impact on my duration of staying with people. Because maybe it's not exactly my number one choice or first person that I'd go after. Yeah. And that's not to say like I don't like the people that I've talked to or stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just there's always that like back of your mind like I didn't make the first move or stuff like that. But I don't know. I also find that it's just a lot more. I feel like it helps me value myself more and take care of myself more when the people I'm talking to reach out to me first, because that just means like I feel the need being okay, or if I feel okay being by myself, and so if it comes my way, then I'll allow it to. Yeah. But I don't feel like I need to press myself out of my comfort zone, or like I don't feel the need to like do something crazy to be with someone, whereas like I can just enjoy being.
Has there been anyone else you pursued other than the one you talked about in the fall?
Well, the fall of junior year. But
junior year, yeah. Sorry.
Like me pursuing them.
Yeah, that's the only time you've ever talked about it.
I mean, there's times where it could be construed as such, but like I typically. And it's weird because a lot of girls say they want the guy to make the first move. Yeah. But like from the people that I've talked to at different times, it's been like what they construe as first move is something different. Like this one girl who I was hanging out with for a while, she had seen me play at Airliner, and she was in a sorority. Her sorority houseboy who worked in the kitchen is a former baseball player who hangs out with a handful of guys on the baseball team. She talked to him, asked if he knew me. Knew
your story, yeah.
He talked to me, told me who she was, and then she like followed me on Instagram or something. And then one night I was playing another show and I saw her. I recognized her there in the crowd. And it's like 50 people max.
That's a crowd.
That's a crowd, bro.
I recognized her there.
Yeah.
And like we make eye contact from the stage or whatever. And then by the time I was done, her and her friends had left to go to a different bar. So my buddy who had told me about her was talking to me. I was like, hey, like, give me your Snapchat. And so then I started like Snapchatting her from there. Like in her mind, because we kind of joked about this at one point, in her mind, I made the first move because I asked her for Snapchat. But in my mind, it was like she was asking about me.
Yeah.
Like clearly showing that there was this one video I saw of some like relationship counselor talking to women where they're saying, I like an old-fashioned man who makes the move first. And he describes like an old-fashioned scenario where like I forget what the context was, but he's like, well, is this old-fashioned to you? And he describes a scenario where like a woman back in the day sees a guy she finds attractive and like drops something in front of him and keeps walking, but like intentionally drops it. And then the guy picks it up and walks up to her.
Oh, I dropped my handkerchief.
Yes.
Oh.
So you recognize what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's never happened, but go ahead.
Well, but
that's like grandma's day back in the day.
Yes, but that's what, like, when people say, like, oh, I want an old-fashioned man who will make the first move, then it kind of shows that there's, like, it's never really, like, just one way or another. There's always a balance.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's typically where...
That's
I've
kind of interesting.
been
I'm
up to.
sort of, as I listen to you, I process and I'm thinking about how I've been. And I think I think one of the reasons I liked the Bumble app is because the women reach out first. Like somehow in my mind that felt safer for me because I don't want to get hit on by people. I can be very shy in that way. And even through the app, I felt like you can have guys say all kinds of shit and send you pictures, and I was like, So somehow I felt like I was controlling something. It felt safer to me.
Yeah.
That's a word that I use. It felt safer to me to make the first move after I've observed and checked a few boxes of my, criteria. I felt a little safer.
Well, part of it is you're 50. When you started
no
doing
doubt,
that stuff,
and that's funny you say it because I was going to say, Sam, you're only 22 years old, so when you are ready in life and personally for something more, that's probably when you'll open your mind and heart up to that possibility, and you're just not there yet.
I think what's cool is
and
you're saying
totally
that.
Fair.
Yeah,
It makes sense, really.
Well, I have two reactions to what I heard. One is I'm really happy that you're saying after 4 weeks I kind of lose interest because at least you know yourself. And I'm never going to back away. The mistakes I made was not knowing myself, or at least saying what we've always talked about, giving in on shit that I can't do anymore. And it's funny because, as a total side note, my friend, Erin Joslin a little bit, maybe you heard me talk about her quite a bit.
Hi, Erin.
Yeah, she listens.
I know. That's why I said hi,
Yeah,
Erin.
it was good. So, but she came up to me one time and said, where the fuck is a Jack I know who didn't take shit from anybody? Like, what's happened to you over the years? Like, why are you giving in to stuff? And it was on Labor Day, like 3 or 4 years ago, where she's like, stop doing this stuff. And so I'm glad that you recognize that 4 weeks, things kind of wane, right?
Yeah, and it's not intentional. It's not like always, obviously, like it's never exactly like right on the time, but it's...
No, but it seems like relatively quickly. You're not going 6-7 months, then being like, oh man, I'm finding more about this person I don't like. Right. You're kind of going, I'm just not feeling something right here.
Every relationship, I believe, serves a purpose. I know that might sound corny, but you kind of learn other people can be your mirror and they can reflect back good, bad, and ugly about yourself sometimes. And I found that no relationship that I had was for naught. There was always a takeaway, small, big,
and again, I don't know how
hard,
it is
difficult, to go through or whatever, but
I don't know how it is to hear this, Sam, with your dad and mom and all that stuff, but we actually talk about, she brings this up all the time, and this concept of everything kind of serves a purpose. And I have never met anyone, and I'm pretty fucking old, I've never met anyone like Kath, but I'm like, I don't need anybody else. But we've both talked that we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, right? Something could just happen.
For sure.
Change our perspective. I want to go watch dogs on a bus in Alaska.
Yeah.
And so to have kind of that openness about life, saying, all right, I really dig Kathy. We get along great. We have a wonderful relationship. The possibility exists that she could change her mind. And the possibility exists that I could change mine. So I'm not saying we're pursuing those as thoughts, but you kind of have to live that way. So my reason for saying is right now you may feel, what kind of bums me out about the second part of what I'm telling you about. I love the fact that you're self-aware. What bums me out is that you guys live in this world where I recognize at your age, it feels like you've got so many people you could hook up with. or do all these fucking things, and you're learning, experimenting. I get it. Try as many fucking burgers as you can. Taste shit. Figure out what you like. I would never disagree with that as a strategy. You know, then you look at your sister who's been dating someone since senior in high school. She knew what she wanted. At a very young age, she had an idea of what was cool for her.
Mm-hmm.
So don't hold yourself up to any kind of plan.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it sucks for you guys because it's so impersonal.
Well,
like the fact that she took an interest in you and said something about it, and now Snapchat is the first way you fucking talk. I will tell you, when I was dating, anytime a woman would text me for more than an hour, I'd say, "Can we talk?" Because I want to hear their voice, number one.
Yeah.
Or number two, I'd say, "What are you doing tomorrow?" Like, let's get together. Because I would never get a number in a bar, at least not at my age and my generation. I wouldn't meet some woman in a bar or see her friends and then text her while she's 10 feet away from me. But I think that's kind of like, unfortunately, your generation is so media driven.
Yeah.
That I don't know how you get to know somebody.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of...
I've still got shit in my eyes from that lotion.
It's a lot of, like, small little steps kind of poking around, like...
Discovery process.
You're in class with someone that you find attractive. Maybe you hear her name.
Yeah.
You look her up on Instagram.
Yeah, you got access.
You get the follow back. Maybe a DM.
Yeah.
Then like it's like little tiny little
yes,
like,
yes.
instead of just
the
like
gates.
Instead of just like approaching and being like,
yeah. You
it's very
sniff around it. You sort of like
there's so many different platforms and alleyways to go down to really like to put yourself out there without really having to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Well, and their ways of doing things, by the way, is Instagram, Snapchat, like you connect that way, where ours is more the true literal dating apps.
Right.
Because not everyone our age is on Instagram, and fucking half of them don't know how to use DMs. I know you even struggle with it in our business, right? You'll accidentally set a DM instead of a post. But their generation, that's how they meet. Like one of Alex's friends met a guy she was dating. That's how Frankie fucking met.
That's how David Bakhtiari met
and Frankie met on Instagram.
Oh.
He DM'd her.
He DM'd her. They were at a
That's
Colorado event. He
crazy.
went to Colorado. She went to Colorado. There was something where she was posted. He thought she was pretty. Sent her the hook connected first to follow each other, right? And then sent her a DM. That's how they met. Instagram.
Yeah.
That's their generation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Way different.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad it worked out for them. As long as you're in a place where you're not trying to, you're just sorting things out and you're okay with the environment you're in.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating at times for sure. Like, I have been told on multiple occasions, like, I don't text ever unless I'm making plans. And then I'll use Snapchat to, like, keep a conversation going. But I don't really like doing that either.
And
Yeah.
you've been
But,
told
like,
what?
I've been told two things. One, getting too old to use Snapchat. Because most people would rather just text.
Yeah.
But that means like having a conversation in text, and I like don't know how to do that. Like I don't know how to like converse and be like, "How was your day?" over text. It's weird to me. It's weird to me, and it doesn't work. And then I've also been told many times like,
well, then do you call then if it's weird? Do you pick up the phone and call?
"Nah, people don't really like that."
That's crazy.
So I will.
If I build a rapport with someone, I'll like call or FaceTime more than I text for
okay.
sure.
So then if you're not responding via text, she thinks you're not interested. Right?
Well,
if
yeah,
you're not
exactly. Like,
engaging the
yeah,
text,
and I've been-
they're going to make assumptions
I think
that like
text is so fucking misleading because I will say, I want a funny text story between me and Kathy. So when I was at the studio, I remember telling you I won't be able to answer the phone, right? Because I can't have the phone ringing, so I'm going to have the ringer off, and I may miss it simply because I've got headphones on, all that kind of shit. And so Kathy at one point texts, we were agreed to meeting at this one restaurant. I can't remember the name of it now.
Me neither.
Letterman's or something like that. Whatever. Anyway, she then texts me, hey, are you an NBA fan? Because the Bucks were heading to the championship that year.
I said, can I change the venue because the Bucks are in the quarterfinal and I want
Semis. They were in the conference finals.
it was the quarterfinals.
Conference finals.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. And
It's July. They were in the conference finals.
okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so I changed the venue on them because I wanted a TV.
But here's the text exchange. Here's where I'm going with it. She said, do you mind if we change the venues because I want to watch the Bucks? So I write back, Milwaukee has an NBA team, which you know because you know me, it was being a total smartass, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got 6 championships with Michael Jordan, and so tell her. But here's what I'm going about text. How it can give the wrong impression,
Right.
Yeah. I turned to my coworker and said, if he's serious, I'm not showing up.
Like, what kind of
But
dork
if
doesn't
he's-
know
Yeah,
Milwaukee
exactly.
as a
But if he's
basketball
being
team,
funny,
right?
that's kind of funny.
And so
Yeah.
5
And so,
seconds
I like
later,
it.
I sent her a meme of Jordan doing his
Exactly.
6
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah.
And then, so that's where text can work if you can
Yeah.
play that way. But think about the moment where she's like, wait, is this funny? And then what if she responded back, do you honestly not know there's a Bucks thing, right? And then, okay, that wasn't fun. You don't know. So I
Yeah.
actually think are you telling me that your friends say that you shouldn't want to talk to people, that you got to up your text game? Is that the message you're getting?
Well, definitely that you have to improve as a texter and stuff like that to help you out. But it's more of just like most of my friends are just like, yeah, I hate that. I think most people do.
Girlfriends hate that, or guy? Everyone
most
hates
dudes,
it?
yeah, everyone kind of does. I feel like.
Wait,
like,
hates texting?
Well, just like doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a echo chamber around some of my friends, but like, I can't stand like just like texting to get to know someone because I don't
Get it?
know
either,
how to
man.
convey me or my personality through text. And what I've been told a lot, which is I was gonna say, is like over Snapchat and over text, over stuff like that, everyone's like, you're so dry, like you don't say much when you text, and you're like, I'm like, I don't like. What do you want me to say over text? Like, if you want to talk, like, let's hang out. Like, let's
Yeah,
do something
I- 'cause
together.
I-
Let's not just like text about how our day was.
Yeah, I'd love that you feel that way, because then what do you want me to be, like Mark Twain and read my shit? You know what I mean? It's almost like there's
Yeah.
pressure to be creative in a text environment, which I don't.
Right.
I don't
And
know.
especially like for me, like I'd say most of my humor is more response based and
Interactive.
interactive and
Like what you did
a
today.
lot more like sarcastic and dry and stuff like that.
Right.
To the point where like it really only works if you can see my face and you
No,
can
or
hear
you
what I'm
throw
saying.
on the right emoji.
Yeah, but that
Yeah, like what the
a
fuck is
winking
that?
emoji.
Yeah, but then you got to explain yourself.
yeah, it's all too much. And like if I'm in the right scenario face to face with someone, I can be who I am and say things that are like more witty or humorous or just anything that can get more
Connection.
connection.
Yeah. Yep. Here's what I believe, and I think you'll support me on this. I think it's your age. And I think, I've told you
sure.
before, I think you're light years ahead of people in emotional intelligence. And I'm glad you have a friend like Andy who seems to be in that direction. You probably have friends that are that way.
Yeah.
And I feel it's your age. And it's going to
Yeah,
start
it's tough.
separating itself as you get older. And those dynamics will change when you get out of college.
Yeah.
And they just will. I just think they will.
We do tend to depend a lot on that text exchange, so I can see how that could be a
Well, these guys
little
do.
stumbling block.
We were kind of lucky that we didn't grow up with that shit, you know?
Right.
I really, I mean, as much as I
Right.
love it and being able to know where everybody is and blah, 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 and reach people, when it comes to forming relationships, man, it to deal with this shit that he's talking about, I'd lose my fucking mind. Again, that's 57 years old, but even back in the day, I wouldn't have liked that. I want to talk to someone. I want to see their reaction. So I think you're light years ahead of people in that regard. You're just going to have to wait this out for a while or play the game.
Well, we'll play the game or just win by my own rules in the sense of
I know
it's
what
a
you
game. Just kind of do things my way in a way that like, because it's not like nobody like would. It'd just be like a shock if I got a girl's number at like a bar or something and just called her like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It would just be
That's
like
so rare. So you can't. Have you ever just had something where you're at a bar and you crack a joke with someone and she seems relatively attractive? Next thing you know, you find yourself talking. That kind of, I hate saying the word organic, but that kind of like more natural way. Have you ever had that?
well, yeah, for sure.
You have.
Yeah.
Someone that you liked and you got done with them after 4 weeks.
No. But that again kind of goes into like there's always steps before that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, best example is this
The
one
discovery
girl.
process.
Yeah, this one girl who I had hung out with for a while. She had like months before I ever met her, she followed me on Instagram and I followed her back. And
Okay.
then few weeks before I met her, she added me on Snapchat through somebody, we had one friend in common. And then finally, I'm at the bar one night with my friend who was hanging out with this girl's friend. And he goes, hey, come upstairs, blah, 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 has a friend who wants to meet you. Or like who was talking about you or something like that. And then like we met each other and got along really well and like had a connection from that first time we met. But it kind of, there was a bunch of steps leading up to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you know what I would almost rather have?
Well, maybe it could be a my end type thing too.
Could be.
Because having those steps led up where like she was consistently like putting the feelers out there made me more confident and gave me more of like a comfort being when we actually met. Like it kind of gave me more of that comfort, I guess.
Yeah.
But have you ever had a situation where there wasn't any of that at all?
Yes.
Clearly you're not dating someone on any serious level, but did that feel any different to you? Do you know what I'm asking?
It was fun. It was cool. It was...
So what?
Yeah, it was one other person who I talked to for a little bit. We athlete had seen around the training room at times here and then, but never really never had a conversation with. And then I was at the bar one night and like ran into her and her friend.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, let's just say hi, get to know some people. And so I was like, hey, I've seen you at the training room, blah, 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 blah. We get to know each other. We talk for a little bit and that's it. And then like a week later, we run in the bar again and then get to talking a lot more. And then then start like progressing and talking more from there. So that was pretty
I know I may be crossing the line here, but almost like becoming friends with someone, right? Do you know what I'm getting at? Or does that not happen at your age?
No, exactly. And that's
some of the best relationships I had in college were friends that they started out as, it wasn't just purely I'm really attracted to this person, is really started enjoying them.
Well, I'd say,
does that happen?
Not really. I mean, that circumstance where you're just becoming friends with someone. I mean, it was clear that it was just it wasn't just a friends thing.
When I say just friends, I mean you actually started liking them as a person, not just you were attracted. It's both. It's you're attracted to them and everything else.
Like the attraction was a slow build.
Well, but because you actually
like, oh, this person is easy to talk to.
You had shit in common. You laughed a lot, right? And then that attraction grew. Does that not happen?
I don't know. I don't think it was as drawn out as it wasn't as drawn out. It was we met once before, twice when we actually hung out together.
Okay.
But
it's interesting.
I think about especially the baseball team, and maybe it's just the people I'm around, stuff like that. I haven't had female friends in college. I haven't had many. I've had a handful that I've made on my own. But I've never, in high school, I had my group of friends and there was the group of girls that we all hung out with. Yeah. And even at SIU for a little, I had my group of friends and there's a group of girls that we'd hang out with. And then Heartland, group of friends, group of girls we'd hang out with. And then here at Iowa, it's been group of dude friends and then let's go hit the bars and meet some girls. That's kind of what
I get
it is.
Well, I've been there. We've all been there.
Since coming to Iowa, I don't think I've made any I don't want to be mean because I feel like I might be forgetting about friends who are girls.
They're not listening anyway, so don't worry about
it. But you don't have any girlfriends?
I don't really have many platonic girlfriends.
Really?
Really anywhere. Except for I can think of 2 since coming to college who I am close with.
Man, I had a ton.
Yeah, and maybe that's who I hang out with.
You guys say they all liked me?
Yeah, I think some of them where if you would have made a move, they'd be like, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I appreciate you giving me that kind of
hype.
Power and hype, but I don't think you're looking through different glasses.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say the only girl friends I've had in college have been met through who my buddies are dating or stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel part of me feels I've talked to people about this too. I feel that's a little weird.
Having a girlfriend?
Yeah. No, it's weird not. Like, it's weird the fact that I really haven't made
It's
many.
definitely, it's interesting to hear it because I've never
Like-
heard that.
Like, there's acquaintances and there's, like, people that, like, you can get along with, but, like, never, like, people, never, or very rarely has it been, like, people that, like, in a group would bring their friends and hang out with my friends in a group with no sexual relationship going on there.
That's so fucked up. I'm sorry. Like, do you always have to get, like, banged up to have a relationship?
Either that or, like, if there's, like, a group of 4 girls, 4 dudes, like, at least 2 of them are hooking up. Mm-hmm. Like, that's...
Is that all you guys
really
are about, man?
fascinating.
I know we had a podcast where all you talked about, Kathy, was
I
sex.
don't know, though. Like,
Yeah,
you could
right.
say that's a generational thing, but, like, I don't know if it is.
I don't know if it's generational. I think it's age, though.
I had-
I mean, it's
but I was
discovery.
at-
It's like
yeah,
you're
but look, I get the whole discovery and trying different
hopefully
hamburgers. I
safe
get it.
discovery.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Safe
I
discovery.
get the discovery shit. I do, but I had good friends. I had good female friends. We
I'd like to talk to all of them and ask them.
come
"Oh,
on.
just a
Well,
little.
you and Aaron
Hey, I
are,
never
like, best friends.
I never connected with Aaron. You're gonna
No,
think, you're
that's
gonna,
true.
I don't think
Yeah,
she
you
did.
guys are all...
No, I don't get
Aaron
that.
and I were
vibe.
good. I had other good friends in college. I did.
So I had, I mean, I've had, like, 1 or 2, like, really good female friends where there was none of that. And really just one. Mm-hmm. And that was...
That's too bad.
That was my friend at Heartland, who I'm still sort of in touch with. But, like, that's... I feel like that's a rarity, though.
Don't you have guy friends? No?
Not so much. I mean,
You didn't have guy friends? Like they all just wanted to smack and attack? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. But certainly at his age, it's not surprising. At 22, you know?
I get that, but I
Yeah.
think there's I had a mix. I had a mix of connections and a mix of friends. That's all. All right, I'll change topics. Message received.
No, I think we've been talking for like 3
2
hours now.
It's
And
actually 2 hours. So no, but I thought we were
this
going
is
to
going
break
to
it
be
into
part 2.
Well, it'll be part 2. So what I
Yes.
want you to do then is ask another question.
Okay.
All right. 'Cause
Another
I'm
question?
hitting a wall and my eyes are killing me.
I know, and we need
Are you doing
to.
okay?
I'm chilling.
Did you want to go grab a beer with us or anything like that, or
I
food?
cannot drink, that's for
Okay.
damn sure.
Could you grab some food?
Here, you
All
grab
right.
one.
I'm not too hungry, and I would want to get back to the hotel.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
That's just stupid. Hold on a second. All right, super simple question. You go first.
Not really relational.
Not relational, just interesting. Go ahead.
Where would you like to travel?
Where would I like to travel?
Yes. Let's say top 5 places
5.
you want to go.
Top 5 places I want to go.
Fuck, I can barely do
Because there
2.
can't be one.
Sure.
Okay.
You barely do 2?
Yeah, there's really only-
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Wow.
with-
I could probably list off 5.
Yeah.
easy.
Okay, go ahead.
Broadway in Nashville, and actually, like, go to Broadway and, like,
New
do
York
that.
City Broadway?
No, Nashville.
in Nashville.
Oh, Broadway Street.
Broadway
Yeah,
and
okay,
Nashville
sorry.
for the music scene.
Banff National Park.
Oh yeah, God, man, that's
Yes.
great.
Shit, maybe I can't list off 5. I'm thinking.
Anywhere in Europe, anywhere out of the country.
I was gonna say Europe-ish.
Just in
Europe.
general, Europe-ish.
France, probably.
Okay.
Where else? Because I got 2 more to go.
That's all right. No pressure if you can't.
New York City, never been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Never been
Yeah.
to New York City.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then, yeah, I guess Austin.
Yeah. Well, you'll
Which
be
is gonna
there
be great.
next
Gonna be
week,
there next
so you'll
week,
be
which
able
is
to
really
check
cool.
that
Yeah.
box. Yeah. It won't be
I
enough
don't know if
time.
I'll count that though as like
Yeah, 'cause
actually
you'll be
visiting.
No, I know.
Because
focused
I've been
on
to
it.
That's the
Nashville
same
for
as-
baseball before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been to,
Yep. Yep. How
didn't
about
get
you,
a chance
Jack?
to go to New York with the team last year.
Yeah.
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 Where would I go?
Yeah.
I really just have 2 places.
Where?
So I really want to go to the Alps, like Lucerne and all that stuff. Like that's, I'd like to see that, and I really want to go to Asia. So some Asian place,
Just
China,
anywhere?
Japan. Yeah, I've never been.
Let's not go to China.
Well, no, I know that, but you lived in the Middle East.
Let's not.
You Middle East. You lived in the Far East for a stretch, and I've never been.
Where did you live in the Far East?
She was in Japan.
Yes, I was in
Really?
Tokyo
When she was
and
working.
Hong Kong.
It was
Yeah.
her first job when she was
Yeah.
a kid, 17.
Really?
Yeah.
I was 19. Well, I had
thought you were
started
17.
working at 17, but I was went to Tokyo at 19. Yeah.
So I've always
It's my
wanted to
first
go
time on a plane.
like to not South Korea. Where were some other places we talked about? Philippines.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've always wanted. I've just heard so many tremendous things. Thailand.
The Philippines.
I know so many people that have gone there that I'm not interested in South America
Yep.
as much and those kinds of things right now. So it'd be third maybe, or Africa. The middle.
Yeah.
Like that might be third, but I go ahead. Sorry.
I would go back to Scandinavia. I loved it up there. Been to Stockholm a few times, so
Okay.
I'd probably go to Norway, Amsterdam,
Okay.
and Wyoming. Never been to Wyoming.
God, it's
You
gorgeous.
mentioned a national park. I really have not been to
She's never been to any of them.
I haven't been to Yellowstone or
Yellowstone's
Banff,
cool.
or I've been to
Well,
God.
isn't Banff in Canada or no?
It's in Canada, but it's up north. It's on the border.
Yeah.
I've been to
British
the Grand
Columbia,
Canyon.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Let's
Thank you,
call
brother.
it.
We're gonna
Word.
call
Thank
it.
you,
So
babe.
you gotta look at the camera and do one thing. We end with every episode by saying peace. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks.
Word.
Jack and Kathy Shit Show outro take
You
652.
should start off laughing. You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show.
Our senior producers are me.
Hey, and me,
This episode was produced, engineered, and mixed by.
the amazing Key Honar.
Email your questions, comments, or interesting relationship stories to Jack and Kathy Shit Show at gmail.com. That is Kathy with a C.
Be sure to follow and like our marvelous shit show on Instagram and TikTok at Jack and Kathy Shit Show. Apparently, liking and following is a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
This episode was produced by Pint Productions 2022. Point!